How's it going, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So in this video I'm going to be giving you a quick recap of the things coming in Season of the Wish, which drops next week. So first off, Bungie dropped the teaser trailer for Season of the Wish last week. Although not a lot was in the trailer did let us know that we will be returning to the Dreaming City and Marosov is once again involved. And this lines up perfectly with the discovery of the 15th wish. So this coming season sees a few changes within the game as well. First up, Dragon's Breath is returning. It will be re-imaged and will be part of the seasonal reward track. Now, I personally didn't click with it back when it was available, although the napalm rounds were useful to farm certain strike bosses, but Bungie have reworked it. And a few new perks on it are Burn the World, which is an intrinsic perk. This is the fuel counter passively increases the longer you go without firing it to a maximum of ×5. Firing Dragon's Breath then empties this counter, transferring all fuel to the rocket. Rockets then embed themselves in struck targets, causing scorch damage and periodically ejecting incendiary fuel into pools around the target that inflicts scorch damage to anyone standing in them. The more fuel a rocket is fired with, the longer it lasts before detonating, and the more fire it spreads. So if you're a solar fan, this is going to be a dream for you by the sounds of it. And then the other intrinsic perk is High Octane. Nearby ignitions instantly refill your Dragon's Breath with 2 fuel, plus when its fuel fully refills, it reloads itself. Once you've got this thing in hand, make sure to pay a visit to the gunsmith in the tower to obtain the quest for the exotic catalyst. And then, talking about the catalyst, this is called Pyromancer and it passively replenishes Dragon Breath's fuel faster. Eliminating combatants with this weapon causes them to spawn fire sprites too. So, some good changes there to Dragon's Breath. I'm not totally sold, but let me know what you think down in the comments below, guys. Then we've got our first look at the new seasonal artifact, along with the new perk table. So we'll just take a quick look over some of these guys. So in column 1, we've got Anti-Barrier Sidearm, Unstoppable Hand Cannon, Unstoppable Bow, Overload Auto Rifles, and Overload Pulse Rifles. And then in some of the other columns here, like column 5, Hell the Storm, Shattering encased targets and stasis crystals deal increased damage. Shattering a stasis crystal releases shards of ice that damage and slow targets. And underneath that we have Razor Precision, while Radiant, Solar Precision final blows cause combatants to ignite. So as we can see from this table here, the season's going to be heavily leaned towards solar and stasis, and we do have upcoming changes to stasis, which will be progressing up until Lightfall as well. So this makes absolute sense for this to be the official last season before the final shape. So if you love solar or stasis, this is going to be right up your street. As with every season, we get some new sandbox changes. This one's no different. They start by saying we've laid this out a number of times in previous posts, but it's worth repeating. We believe that powerful abilities need to come at a meaningful cost to the player to force difficult decisions about what fits best in their build. To put it plainly, we're not hitting that goal. There are many build crafting avenues that grant flat chunks of ability energy and ignore ability cooldown tiers. This gives them extremely inconsistent value depending on what grenade, melee or class ability you have equipped. Here's an example. A perk that grants 10% grenade energy on activation results in a cooldown reduction of 6.4 seconds to Firebolt grenade, but results in a cooldown reduction of 15.2 seconds for lightning grenade. And then they go on to say that starting in update 7.3.0, the base passive cooldown tiers for abilities will also influence the amount of chunk energy they receive from perks. And then they'll give an updated example here. Here's that same example under the new system. A perk that grants a base value of 10% grenade energy on activation results in a cooldown reduction of 6.4 seconds for Firebolt grenade and results in a cooldown reduction of 7.6 seconds for lightning grenade. So underneath that, in a segment they've titled Staying Alive, they go over their more defense and support focused perks, things like Woven Mail, Restoration, and Cure. They're nerfing them a little bit because they just want us to be a bit more risky within our gameplay, which makes perfect sense, to be honest. And Stasis is getting a bit of a rework. I'm guessing they want to make it more relevant again because, yeah, it's just kind of fizzled out, really. I know the PvP community absolutely hate it, but back when it first came out as a PvE main, I really enjoyed Stasis, but I've just not used it anymore. It's more Strand and Void for me, personally, being a hunter. But I'll just brush over some of these really quickly. Whisper of Hedrons removed the -10 strength penalty. Whisper of Impetus now provides +10 resilience. Whisper of Shards no longer provides +10 resilience. Withering Blade increased projectile speed by 10%, increased maximum projectile lifetime by 10%, increased maximum bounce count from 2 to 3, and increased tracking consistency. That's just a few of the many changes they're bringing. I would recommend going and read through all of that, guys, especially if you're really into stasis or used to be into stasis, because some of these changes are really, really good. Moving on from some of the Sandbox changes coming, there's going to be economy changes as well. Bungie is removing legendary shards. They will be phased out up until the final shape, so make sure you spend these at the vendors. So that means you've got up until the final shape to make sure you spend them. If you don't, they're just going to be taken off you. If you're kind of newish to the game and not sure, keep a lookout for the daily refresh, as vendors such as Banshee can have some really good stuff available, and every now and then they will have some god roll PvE weapons, so definitely keep an eye out. Banshee 44 will also be able to focus a selection of Foundry weapons using the new gunsmith engrams. Rail is also getting some changes which involve having a selection of items offered at a reduced price each week, plus helping you break down some materials as well. Our ghosts are also getting a change in the form of some new mods, and I'll read these out quickly for you. We've got Combo Detector, Wombo Detector, Mobility Armourer, Resilience Armourer, Recovery Armourer, Strength Armourer, Intellect Armourer, Discipline Armourer, Core Harvest, Prism Harvest, Modularity, and Prosperity. A lot of Armourer mods there, but that's the new mods going to be coming. There's some old ones there like Wombo Combo Detector, but other than that, it's nice to have a little refresh. It doesn't hurt, I suppose. And another change, which has been a long time coming, is that we will be able to access our vault from orbit. Finally. No more third-party apps on your phone, or travelling back to the tower or the helm. That's a good quality of life upgrade. Although I have nothing against Dim, I will still continue to use Dim because it's such a fantastic app to use. But yeah, it's just good to be able to do this stuff in-game. Next up, Lost Sectors are seeing some well-timed changes as well. If you complete Lost Sectors on your own, Gunsmith engrams will be introduced as a completion reward, with Foundry weapons dropping from the Legend and Master. These drop rates are Legend is 70% and Master is 100%, so you're guaranteed one on Master. If you defeat all enemies in Master, you'll get weapons with additional perks as well, so that's a nice little incentive to make sure you just clean out everything. And these weapons will be available from Lost Sectors during Season of the Wish. Day 1. Nox Perennial, Old Sterling, Marcelion C, and Senuna S16. Day 2, PSI Hermetic, Glissando 47. Oh, I'm butchering this. Irakanji, Nasredden, and Day 3, Heliocentric QSC, Lost Foray, Hand in Hand, Battle Scar. Day 4, Geodetic HCM, Combined Action, Harsh Language, Coronac 22, and after the 4th day the cycle repeats. I would probably go back and read them yourself because I've just absolutely butchered them. And these are all in addition to the usual exotic drops. Now, me being a lover of Lost Sectors, I think these are some really cool changes. I'm going to start getting my old videos back out again, especially for the new season, get some new builds going, try and get some better times, make it a bit more easier for you guys. But I love them changes. That just gives us a bit more incentive to run these Lost Sectors. Then we've got some ritual engram changes. Starting from next season, new ritual weapons are available through engram focusing straight away. So the more time we spend in the playlists, the more we can focus. This is a really good change in my opinion, which allows players a bit more control over their rewards depending on how much time we spend in the relevant playlists. Because of this change, after each completion of a ritual activity, ritual engrams will drop alongside the rewards. Here is a quick look at the new ritual vendor focusing costs. New ritual weapons will cost 1 engram and no glimmer. Then recent ritual pool weapons, 3 engrams, 5,000 glimmer. Standard ritual pool armor, 3 engrams, 5,000 glimmer. Legacy ritual weapons, 5 engrams, 15,000 glimmer. Legacy ritual armor, 5 and 15,000. Iron banner weapons, 1 and 20,000. Nightfall weapons, 5 and 25,000. Adept nightfall weapons, 5 and 50,000, plus 10 nightfall ciphers. Trials weapons, 1 and 20,000. Adept trial weapons, 1, 50,000, and 7 win trials passage after going flawless. And trials and Iron Banner legacy weapons, 2 if owned, 5 if unowned, 10,000 if owned, 15,000 if unowned. At least it's something for us to spend our glimmer on, because I always struggle to get rid of mine. We also have a new dungeon coming as well. I'm buzzing for this because I love the Dreaming City and I'm hoping it's heavily themed around that. It's probably is going to be themed around that. The details are it will be releasing at 9 AM PST on December the 1st, so make sure you're ready to jump in and secure that loot, guys. One of my favourite weapons, Thorn, it's finally getting a catalyst. I loved Thorn anyway, but this catalyst is just perfect for the exotic hand cannon. For those that want to keep it secret, look away now, as I'm going to put a picture on the screen and read it out. So the catalyst grants bonus range and stability, dealing a final blow or absorbing a remnant grants additional increased weapon range as well as increased mobility and handling for a short time. That sounds pretty good to me. It's going to make a really good hand cannon a lot better. There is a new calibration in town with The Witcher, and I have to say, the armor does look pretty spicy. So I posted a reply to the Destiny 2 tweet showing this off yesterday, and people thought I was being a bit naive or I was new around here, but no, I'm not. I know that it's going to cost us money. I know they're not going to make it available with Bright Dust, but we've got to start asking the questions, guys, because Bungie need to change. I said this in my previous video. And I know it's a collaboration, so we've got to pay for it. But it's about time we've got some really good armor to actually grind for in-game. Put it in as an RNG reward at the end of an activity. So let me know down in the comments below if you'll be tossing a coin to Bungie's money men. And last but not least, in-game LFG is coming this season. Starting on the 30th of November, players will have access to the first public raids stress test. It remains to be seen how well this will perform and if people actually communicate and play like normal adults, but time will tell. I really hope this works out, especially for the solo community, as any accessibility feature in the game is good, but I know we're definitely going to have to be patient with this because there's going to be a lot of bumps. They're going to be stress testing it. They've literally said this. They've covered themselves. So any issues that come with it, I'm sure they'll be on it, working on it straight away, because in my opinion, this is an absolutely massive feature. And there's a lot of players that do play solo, that do LFG a lot of shit. Not everyone has active clans, active fire teams, friends that play. So I hope this works out and good luck to them. That's all the new stuff I've got for you for today, guys. So let me know down in the comments what you make of all the changes and updates coming. I do plan on streaming when Season of the Wish drops. I don't know where I'm going to stream, YouTube, Twitch, maybe multi-stream. But it'd be good to see some of yous in the stream anyway. Maybe run some activities together, run the new activity, whatever that's going to be. But guys, until then, thanks for stopping by and I'll see you on the next video.